Hi, my name is Monelli and I will be showing you a little bit of my trip to Malta. Marsaskala is the quieter amongst all places around Malta. In Marsaskala, there are salt pans that is used for collecting sea salt as part of a century-old tradition. There are so many beautiful lookout points, so many hidden beaches, which I will show you more throughout. The water that surrounds the island is a crystal blue greenish color. There are quite a few empty buildings across Malta and usually are covered in graffiti. This is the lookout for my apartment, where there are quite a few corner stores, making it easy to cook at our apartment for some of the days that we didn't want to go out for breakfast. This is a fast food chain called Chicken King. It is everywhere in Malta and it literally tastes like McDonald's chicken nuggets. By the way, when you go for ice cream in Malta, you have to try Kinder Sorpresa, which is Kinder Surprise ice cream. Public transport in Malta is your best friend. It is €2 to ride and takes you pretty much anywhere. Marsaskala is a small, traditional fishing village that usually has a day market with a bunch of souvenirs. They also have lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, jams, and especially cannoli and sweets. My nanu makes these fresh as well, so I am very fortunate to get these kinds of sweets whenever I want in Canada. Because of the beautiful harbor, its views, fishermen, and history, it is a major tourist attraction. Most of the boats you see are called Maltese lusu, which are usually very colorful and date back to the time of the ancient Phoenicians. It has become one of the symbols associated with the Maltese islands. As we move through Malta, we visit an ancient walled city, Mdina. Since the Bronze Age, Mdina has acted for almost 2 millennia as the administrative and political capital of the Maltese Islands. Also known as the Silent City, it still has a population of 300 living within the city walls. Here is a beautiful lookout, probably of half of Malta. Here's me walking through the walls of the city. I honestly don't know how people fit their cars on these narrow roads. Also, driving in Malta is insane. Not like city insane, but skilled insane. You need to be a very skilled driver to drive in Malta due to the very narrow streets. I am now heading over to a stunning restaurant because after a long day of exploring, I definitely need to eat. The Mdina is a restaurant located in Mdina. What a coincidence. And we went fairly early, so the restaurant was quite literally empty. We got bread and grilled halloumi, which was warm honey, zucchini, coriander salad, and hummus. I got the ribeye with the red wine and shallot butter, the slow-cooked confit pork belly, the braised beef cheek, and the pan-fried rabbit. We went to Mosta for the Feast of the Assumption, also known as the Feast of Santa Maria. The building behind me is actually a church, the Church of the Assumption of Our Lady, which in 1942 a German bomb fell and perished the ceiling, but failed to explode. Mass was going on at the time, and more than 250 parishioners were in the church. Many people ran out of the church, but many stayed and prayed. So today, August 15th, many people who reside in Mosta, Malta, come to celebrate and rejoice, as it was truly a miracle. There are choirs and prayers, there is a band that plays and walks up and down the streets, and they throw confetti off the top of the church. There are also fireworks, and as you could imagine, it is also very hot, so many people bring fans to keep themselves cool, which is something I would recommend when traveling to Malta. They carry out Santa Maria from the church and carry her down the street. The church itself is very historic, so I had to see it for myself. There is the gorgeous architecture and art that surrounds the entire church. I didn't stay there for too long, though, as it was quite packed with many people also doing the same thing I was. Afterwards, outside of the church, there are a bunch of food trucks where there are all kinds of junk food and toys for the kids. Senglea is not a main tourist location for my belief, but it is where my grandparents lived and grew up, so it was definitely worth exploring. Like any other place in Malta, there are a lot of stairs and inclines. You will be going up and down probably thousands of stairs. I would definitely recommend getting in shape before traveling to Malta. Many of these little alleyways had a lot of plants and greenery, which was scenic, and you could probably see a couple cats here and there. Malta is pretty much the land of the cats. There are so many stray cats that you will probably see at least 5 or 10 cats a day, especially in the evenings. We went to Il Pirata for some pizza to end our day. Valletta, probably the main tourist location. I have seen more people in Valletta than I have seen anywhere else. This is Trident's Fountain, 100 times less busy than the Trevi Fountain in Rome. As you can see, people traffic is a little crazier here in Valletta. Valletta is known for its 320 monuments and is possibly the sunniest city in Europe. The city is noted for its fortifications consisting of bastions, curtains, and cavaliers, along with the beauty of its Baroque palaces, gardens, and churches. This is the main food court in Valletta, which has so much variety: pizza, sushi, ramen, anything you name it, but I decided to get Mexican tacos, which were very good. Catholicism has a long-standing presence in Malta, so you may notice as I walk through the streets of Valletta, you will see many saints. We went to the Manon for a quick snack, and here were some of the dishes that we had to eat. A lot of people come to Valletta to shop. There are so many jewelers and off-brand clothing that you can find in Valletta, but be prepared to walk across the city and do recall the many steps and inclines. We walked towards the shoreline with a few pit stops to admire the architecture and to enjoy some snacks. Some more snacks. Before we hit the shore, we went to Cafe Cordina, where we got fritira, pastizzi, and arancini. Not the best pastizzi in Malta, in my humble opinion, but I will tell you what was. First off, pastizzi are a traditional savory pastry from Malta. They can be filled with ricotta or curried peas or even meat. And the best places to get pastizzi are probably the corner stores. Of my favorite restaurant so far is The Roots, a slow food kitchen concept. We got the burrata salad, a charcuterie, and I had like a burrata panini. I love food that is on the healthier side but also still tastes so good. Dessert was tiramisu and like a Reese's bar. Valletta at night is still busy, but in my opinion, a little more peaceful, probably because everyone eats so late in Europe, so everyone is up for dinner and the streets are pretty much dead. One of my favorite destinations in Malta is Sliema, attracting more of the youth crowd based on the many bars and beach clubs that it has, but I believe every place in Malta I've gone to has at least one beach. You could pretty much take a quick swim in the sea at any time. We made our way over to Tiffany's Bistro. I ordered the steamed dumplings with shredded duck, the chicken unagi, and fish and chips. Later that evening, we went to Sakura Japanese Cuisine and Lounge, enjoying some sushi and desserts. One of the days we were in Malta, we decided to go to Senglea Miracle Beach, also known as Riviera Beach. And more steps. Walking up these after was definitely not fun. At least I enjoyed a really nice swim and got to see a really cool lookout spot, which was all very worth it. For dinner, I went to the Black Pearl. Ooh, reminds you of something? A seafood and Mediterranean restaurant, which is practically a huge ship. I thought it was like a dock ship, but it isn't. It's just a building. I'm not a huge fan of seafood, so I ordered the gorgonzola pasta. I am a sucker for cheesy pasta. And guess where I am? I had to try McDonald's in Malta. It is a lot cleaner than the McDonald's I have been to in Canada and a lot nicer. I got the chicken Caesar salad, the chicken box, and a Big Mac and a passion fruit flurry. Our last night we went to a fancy restaurant called Bull and Caviar. I ordered the risotto, the popcorn lobster bites, and a huge assortment of meat. Our desserts though, literally phenomenal and a perfect end to our dinner. We went to a bar called La Luz, a cozy little Mexican taqueria and cocktail bar in Sliema with a menu that is proudly inspired by their passion for Mexico's unique ingredients and flavors. Again, Malta has a great variety of restaurants and bars, and I probably had my first drink in literally a whole year here. We took a boat cruise exploring the islands of Comino and Gozo. So long, Malta, for now, but I will be back. I was quite timid to hop on a boat as I was scared I was going to feel seasick, but I can assure you that it was quite nice and the breeze was glorious. The water was also pretty clear in certain areas and glistening with the sun. We headed over to some really cool caves on the island. We finally made it to Gozo, and this was our beautiful lookout from our little apartment. We wanted to go to the beach for a bit and do some shopping in the area and maybe go for a swim. And also, I wanted to do an honorable mention to the smoothies that would give me my fruit intake when all I was consuming was carbs. Another honorable mention to the mussels, the many mussel dishes and calamari that I had, which were great snacks before a long day. One of my favorite parts is kayaking to the islands and swimming in the water. It was so hot, and being able to jump into the water after a sweaty kayak was amazing. I even swam with the fishies and fed them some bread. Dinner time at Totona is amazing. They have so much variety and the food is so good. If you have noticed, all I eat is cheesy pasta, but this one was really, really good. Here is all the food we ordered, and we really went all out for dessert. If you didn't know already, Gozo is a small island located in the Mediterranean Sea, part of the Maltese archipelago. Its history is rich and diverse, spanning thousands of years. Today, Gozo is cherished for its picturesque landscape, historic sites, and its unique blend of history and culture. It remains a popular destination for tourists seeking to explore its ancient heritage and stunning natural scenery. We heard from a local to check out this celebration. They had a live band who was truly amazing. We have come to the end of the trip. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you definitely consider traveling to Malta and Gozo. As you can see, it is truly a beautiful place, and there is so much history and delicious food. It is definitely not the kind of place you come for relaxing, as there is so much to explore and discover. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more vlogs in the future. Make sure to comment your favorite part and let me know if I made you hungry at all with all the food.